What's up, guys? Welcome to another video, and today I am going to be doing my NCAA men's basketball today February 19th all the way to the 21st. So make sure to like and subscribe so we can hit 100 subscribers, and let's get into it. First up, we have 12-seeded Illinois versus 19-seeded Michigan State. This is going to be tough, but I am going to say Indiana, Illinois. I think Illinois is going to get the job 67-64. TCU, who is not seeded, versus Baylor, who is 7-seeded. This is easy for Baylor, 70-45 score. Now we have Connecticut, 24-seeded Connecticut versus Xavier. What would be Connecticut? 67-60. Texas Tech versus 11-seeded Texas Tech versus 20-seeded Texas. Both of these teams are in Texas, but Texas, the Texans Longhorns are home. So I'm going to go Texas Tech 67-70. Texas Tech wins. Next, we have 4-seeded Kentucky versus 25-seeded Alabama. James, the sports guy, I am going to go Kentucky. 78-75. They played at 1 p.m. today. So, let's see if it's going to work. Let's see if Kentucky will get the job. Okay, now this game I am definitely watching. Auburn versus Florida. This is one of the top games I'm watching. I believe Auburn is actually number 2 now, and Florida isn't even seeded. They should be seeded, but they're not. So I'm going to go with the upset, Florida. Florida with the upset. 67-62. So that's the upset. Okay, now we have Ohio State versus Iowa. You already know who I'm going for. Start at 2:30 today. I am going Ohio State. It's going to be a good game. It's going to be pretty close, but I think 67-59 is the score, Ohio State. All right, Air Force versus 22 Wyoming. Wyoming, I think we're going to get this dub. 67-50. Not an absolute reason. All right, this game is at 4. I am watching this game as well. 16-seeded Tennessee versus 23-seeded Arkansas. Arkansas is home, but I'm going to go Tennessee this one. 61. Murray State versus T.N. Martin. Murray State is 21 seeded. T.N. Martin isn't seeded, so I think Murray State, I believe, is going to get this dub. I didn't really say the score, but I'm going to say 52-50. Georgetown versus 10-seeded Villanova. Villanova, probably. Vanderbilt just uses games. But this is not Vanderbilt we're talking about. This is not. This is Villanova. Villanova dub 67-45. Florida State versus 9-seeded Duke. Duke is one of my favorite teams, but my second favorite is Notre Dame. Duke is my dad's favorite college basketball team. I'm going to go Duke. Duke 75-70. I just had to root for Duke. 6-seeded Kansas versus West Virginia. Probably Kansas. They are 6-seeded. They have some pretty decent players. The game starts at 8. Kansas getting the dub. 64-55. We're almost done. Today's games. We have Santa Clara versus 1-seeded Gonzaga. So Gonzaga is actually now 1-seeded. Gonzaga is pretty obvious. Gonzaga. They are gonna host Santa Clara Santa Clara's game. And I think they're gonna get the dub. 84-45. Alright, after that, Oregon versus 3-seeded Arizona. Probably Arizona. They start at 10. Probably Arizona's getting the dub. Arizona, 3-seeded. So Arizona's gonna get the dub. 67-57. 10-point game. 10-point final. Washington versus 13 UCLA. Probably UCLA. They have won the most World Series. They've won the most. They're a pretty good team. So UCLA getting the dub. 67-64. Okay, that are the games today. We're gonna head to February 20th. Starting with Providence versus Butler. 8-seeded Providence. Providence, Rhode Island. I am near that, but I just do not root for them. I don't even root for Vermont's college team. So, yeah, Providence is probably going to get the dub. They start tomorrow at 1. That's the first game tomorrow, so, yeah, Providence dub. Dub 67-50. Houston versus Wichita State. Houston's 14-seeded. How about Houston winning this? Houston winning 67-16. Not 56. Oh, this is gonna be a close game. No recent news for this game because it starts tomorrow. Wisconsin versus Michigan. 15-seeded Wisconsin versus non-seeded Michigan. It is in Wisconsin. Wisconsin did beat Indiana. I am actually going to go Wisconsin, probably. It's going to be pretty close. 67. Michigan 67, Wisconsin 70. And then the Scarlet Knights versus 5-seeded Purdue. Drew Sports Network is a Purdue fan. I'm gonna go him. His Boilermakers, I believe. Yeah. 5-seeded Purdue, 65-55. Last game for tomorrow, non-seeded Washington State versus 17-seeded USC. How about USC getting this? I think USC is getting this. Getting this 67-50. Alright. This is the game I'm pumped about. Ohio State versus Indiana. I can see Ohio State getting this dub. It's going to be very close. It's going to be very high scoring. So, Indiana isn't seeded. We're 18 seeded, so Ohio State's getting the dub. It's going to be very close. How about 88-89, I believe. While in all these times are Eastern time, because of where I live. Arizona State versus 13 UCLA. UCLA is probably getting this. Heading this 78-70. Alright, last predictions of the video. 7-seeded Baylor versus non-seeded Oklahoma State. One of my classmates is an Oklahoma State fan. So, you know what? I'm calling the upset. Oklahoma State W. 67-66. I think a game winner. That is it. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.